Well, Atlantic City just got proposed for gambling, but they were ready to go for a vote in '71. So my godfather wanted me to learn the gambling industry. So they said, you got to go to Vegas. So I come to Vegas. And Vegas was back then was controlled by the mob, which was a great town. If you didn't gamble, Vegas was a great town. I didn't gamble. My godfather's casinos were the Aladdin and the Stardust. And everybody back then, every mob had a casino or had an interest in a casino. And every mob had their own, it was called Juice Man. He's your juice man. He's the guy that granted loans to knock around gangsters. Gangsters would come into town. They would blow their money, and then they wanted to borrow 10 grand, 20 grand, whatever. The juice guy took care of that because that didn't go through the books, okay? So every mob had a juice guy. Ours guy, Mike Sarge. I rented off of him. He had a bungalow that I used to live off of. I never paid him the rent. Every month he used to come around and tell me a bullshit story. He didn't want the rent anyway. He just like had me there. I was his sidekick. And I'm in the bungalow one night. It's not too late. Mike says, come on, we got to take a ride. He had a Cadillac, he had a nice Cadillac. Get in the Cadillac, and there's an envelope. He says, see that envelope? Take that envelope. I'm going to drop you off at I'll wait for you out front. It's for Sigmund and Freud. It's their checks. So the envelope, it had Stardust on the envelope. I looked in. It was 2 checks, $70,000 each. And he said, yeah, go in. The door's open. Just go right in. So I go in. I said, man, they must got pets or dogs or something in here, right? And I'm standing in a beautiful house, had the 2 staircases going up. I'm in the foyer under this beautiful chandelier, and I look up this one stairway, and here he comes down the stairs, a white Bengal tiger. I said, oh my God. Now I turned, and another one came out of the living room. Well, I tell you the truth, I don't remember my feet touching the ground. I threw the checks in the air, the envelope in the air, and I ran out, and there's Mike in the car laughing. He knew it was a setup. But I says, Mike, how do they have neighbors? How do you live? How do you get tigers to live with you? He said, this is Vegas. This is Vegas. When you live in Vegas, I don't know about today, but yesteryear when you lived in Vegas and you told anybody where you lived, it was a slang and to say off of. So if I asked this girl, where do you live? She would say, off of Caesars. I used to live off of Sahara. I'm living with Mike there, and I knew how to get into the pool area at the Sahara. I'm a block away, go for a nice jog. Pool's gigantic, and I meet this gorgeous woman. She's got her own bungalow on the grounds. So, and I'm going in there, and I'm hitting her in the bungalow. We're having a good time, And one night the door opens up and she yells, get out, it's my boyfriend, get out, get out. I said, I'm trying to go out fast as I can. I can't go that way, I gotta go through a window. So I'm climbing out the window here. Bang! He shoots at me. Now, I really moving quick now. I ain't got a gun. You know what I mean? So I run back to Mike. Mike's home watching TV. I said, the guy just shot at me. His face went to stone. The guy did what? Because he's responsible. If he was going to call my father, my godfather, said, Georgie's dead. He knows he's dead. So he said, come on. So we go, take him to the bungalow, bang on the door. Door opens up. Mike grabs this guy. He smacks him so hard, the guy tumbles across the room. Guess who it was? Buddy Hackett. I didn't know I was messing around with Buddy Hackett's girl, but guess what? It was the best slap I could ever think of, because after it was said and done, Buddy Hackett used to say, Georgie, do anything you want to get Sahara, but don't fuck my girl. Don't fuck my girl. So now I got a comp for the Sahara, the Aladdin, and the Stardust. You know what a signature meant? That means you can go for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. The dinner could have been $1,000, just sign. So I loved it. But I made the mistake. I always make a mistake. People don't understand Vegas. back then, if you didn't have a green card issued by the sheriff's department, you did not work in Vegas. I'm talking about from a dishwasher to Sinatra. You had to have a green card. Green card is your working card. Sheriff's department had all the power. So me and Mike, we devised a plan. He's going to run for sheriff. And I gave him $250,000. You know what it comes up with $250,000? I was a kid. Came up with $250,000. Okay? Lo and behold, we lost the election. Not by much that night. I'm pulling up for gas. I was at a gas station somewhere in Vegas. I get surrounded by 8 or 9 cop cars. Sheriff Lamb gets out of the car. He said, I know you put the money behind it. You almost won, but you lost. He said, I know who you are, but you're not welcome in Vegas anymore. So now I call my people back east. I call my father, my God. I says, this friggin' sheriff's trying to run me out of here. They says, you come home. We didn't tell you to do that. To run for sheriff, because if we would have took the sheriff's, I would have controlled this town for the next 40 years. But anyway, I lost. I never leave. I always get run out.